The possum used to have a voluptuous, colorful, beautiful tail, and the possum was very vain. Like I told you, this has a lot of common for me. The possum would go around to the fox and say, "Look at my beautiful tail," and the fox would be like, "That's great, possum," because the fox didn't really care.
Sorry, that's great. Good for you.
I love that for you.
It's great.
Good job.
Then the possum
we
would
both eat garbage.
like, you're not better than me.
The fuck you think you are?
Then the possum would go to the bear and say, "Look how beautiful my tail is. Don't you wish you had a tail that was as nice as mine? Yours is so short." Next, the possum would go to the coyote and he would say, "Look how beautiful my tail is. It's so much better than yours." Basically, the possum just went around to everybody and bragged about his beautiful, perfect tail. And all tails should be like his. All the animals got together, and Coyote, the trickster in a lot of cultures, was like, "We have an idea, and we're trying to figure out what to do with the possum for being too vain with his tail." So Coyote came up with a plan. The next day, the possum was doing her rounds, bragging about her tail and rubbing it in everyone's face. The possum went up to the raccoon and was like, "Do you like my tail?" "What?"
I said, "What is this, a strip club?"
Yes,
Oh,
the
this is
possum
free.
just going around the pole like, "Guys, do you like it?"
Yeah.
Usually I have to pay for this kind of rubbing, but
Possum hanging out over at the peach crease again.
uh-oh.
Gentlemen, please.
Wonderful reference, thank you.
Mm.
So the raccoon's like, "That's great, but you know what would make it more beautiful?" And the possum sat there and thought about it and was like, "No, what?" And the raccoon said, "If it had stripes like mine, wouldn't it be so much better?" Possum agreed and thought stripes would make his tail better. So he begged and begged Raccoon to tell him how to get the stripes on his tail. So the raccoon, influenced by the coyote, told the possum to wrap stripes of material around the parts of the tail where they wanted to have the stripes.
Oh, man. I thought
And
it was
then-
like, there's this great little place over on Fifth Avenue. This girl does it for me. It's marvelous.
Just ask for Tiffany. She does it right every time.
Every single time. She hasn't burnt any of my, general bits.
No, unfortunately, the possum has to learn a lesson. Otherwise, this story just is worthless.
Damn it.
Fair point.
So the possum wraps the material around his tail where they want the stripes to be, and it sets it on fire, which is what the raccoon had instructed.
See, you should have gone to Tiffany.
Don't try this at home, kids.
The bushy fur on their tail got burnt, and he was screaming all around. He was so upset because his beautiful tail was now skinny little pink thing. And that's why the possum has the tail that it does today. The
We've
other
all
animals
been
said,
Mm-hmm.
True.
the other animals said, "You better remember not to be so vain because things like this will happen." And now this is why all the possum's tails look as they do.
If karma were this quick, we would have a lot more defaced people on the planet.
That's very true.